the Parsippany side. Zunday, 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 comics and nonsense every Sunday. Zunday, 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 starring Zigagin and Captain Conti. Meet Captain Conti, I'm the skipper of the ship. Well, Zigagin is mostly around for antics. Why did they name it Funny Books anyway? Because Antics Knee Books is a really, really stupid name. And it's really hard to say. Zunday, Zunday, Gabingi, TGIZ, thank God it's Ziggy. Funny Books Comics on YouTube, not really sponsored by YOO HOO. Don't you dare miss a single episode of Zunday. Don't you miss an episode. Welcome to Zunday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something? I was reading a little classic Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I know. I saw. What issue is that?
This is issue 3.
Well, I'll tell you what. Issue 3 isn't as memorable to me as issue 2. For some reason, issue 2 really sticks out in my mind when I was getting that as it came out on the shelves as a young kid. I guess I don't know what year is that? 80.
For some reason, I have this urge to miss a single episode of Zunday. Where am I getting that from?
The song, possibly.
Oh, the song.
Yeah, the song.
Oh, the song.
When did Crisis come out?
1986.
86. Okay, yeah. So
the year everything happened.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was the year.
Yeah.
That was the year. We should do. I'm sure that there's a YouTube video out there somewhere on it. By the way, I'd like to give my friend a plug who does his own YouTube show. Not that he needs our plug. He's got tons of followers. We have 40 people.
Yeah, where's his plug for us?
Yeah, exactly. But this Matt with 4 T's. Are you familiar?
Matt with 4 T's?
Yeah, Matt, 4 T's at the end of Matt.
MATTTT?
Yeah. So he does these.
You sure his name just isn't like Matt Fortes?
I'm sure, because I met him, and it's funny because here's how this all happened recently. One of our customers, Mike Lovelo, you know Mike Lovelo?
Yes.
Spawn, Mike Lovelo. He's into Spawn and stuff. He came in here and told me about this video he watched about Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld, and it was by Matt with 4 T's. And I was like, I met Matt with 4 T's.
Where did you meet him?
Well, that's the whole thing. I was like, where
don't
did I
know?
meet Matt with 4 T's, right? And I figured it was like at the comic book convention,
Right.
Because we were just there, or you know, I met Matt with 4 T's. So after he left, I wanted to watch it because I'm like everyone else. I'm fascinated with Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. You know,
Just their existence in the world.
yeah, they're like there's something humorous and about like the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
They're you know, and not only that. I mean, I'm a fan at least of certain aspects to their
Yeah.
careers, right? Like, I like Layfield as a posterizing artist. You know, like I could see his work 6 foot by 6 foot on a museum wall.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like his storytelling's absolutely atrocious, horrible. But you know, he's one of the best posterizers of all time.
Well, you know, he
back
like
in the day.
yeah, people you know, complain about his anatomy, they complain about whatever, all that stuff. But there's some I remember I was reading maybe a year or two ago when I was like at a convention and I was going through like a 50-cent bin and like Youngblood #1 was in there. And I was just like, you know, I read this back in 1992. I
Yeah.
may or may not still have a copy of it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but for 50 cents, I'm going to get this
Yeah.
and read it again and read Youngblood #1. And first of all, the book actually wasn't that horrible for like an action, who cares type
Right.
book.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's a flip book. One side was better than the other. But like art wise, like there's like Layfieldian things going on.
Yeah.
But like there's this one double page spread. It's awesome.
Yeah. Right.
It's like super cool.
Yeah.
Like what's his face with the skull on his face,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Chapel. He's on like a motorcycle.
Right.
You know?
a ridiculous looking
A
motorcycle.
ridiculous looking motorcycle, but it's still a motorcycle that's existing in
Hey,
space.
that's my theory when I draw Action Figure Kingdom. It's
Yeah.
still a motorcycle,
And-
even if it's not, you know, doesn't
and it's
look like a motorcycle.
actually not that bad. Like such a motorcycle can never exist in the real world, but it is like a physical object in space, like coming
Yeah,
at you.
yeah.
Like it's not a badly drawn motorcycle,
Right.
And the guy on it is you know, with an even more ridiculous gun.
Yes,
is
yeah,
on
yeah.
it. And you know, and Shaft is next to him with the bow and arrow and everything, and it's just a really cool shot, and it's not badly drawn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's what I'm saying. It's funny you mention that because I was also this week, we're really getting down a rabbit hole now, but you know Mr. Blast, my character Mr. Blast.
Yeah.
So there's an origin story coming where you find out how he got his face burned off. And originally it involved a motorcycle. And I changed it because I didn't want to draw a motorcycle. And you know, so I give him more credit than luckily I'm the writer and I could write.
But then, of course, what happens is you turn the page, and you know,
in Youngblood, you're
in
saying.
Youngblood, and like, you know, all the pouches and the shoulder pads and whatever,
Yeah.
on the same character is completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
yeah.
he never pays attention to the actual design of characters.
and yeah, hey, you know,
He's just like, he knows a guy, has some shoulder pads and has some pouches,
yeah.
and page by page he makes up what that means.
Well,
which is
yeah, you can't really
amazing.
give him a pass on that, but I get it. I mean, it's, you know, as long as he's telling the story, I think that's probably what he's thinking, or maybe he just forgets. So anyway, and then Todd, of course, you know, Todd.
Yeah.
You know, I had just met him at New York Comic Con,
Yeah.
and I was actually impressed, and you know, so this YouTube video by Matt with 4 C's is actually like
4 T's.
what did I say?
Matt with 4 C's.
Oh, 4 T's, yeah.
I'd like to see
The
that.
four seasons, I'm thinking. Probably with my dyslexic. So I got something
Hi,
going on.
I am Matt. It's spelled MCAC.
So yes.
TCTCTT.
So yeah, then he goes into Todd, like how Todd lost all his money, or well, basically the name of the video is how this comic book guy lost all his money.
Did he lose all his money?
Well, at one point he when he was getting sued by, you know, Tony Twist and Neil
Yeah.
Gaiman and all that stuff. But no, I'm sure Todd's fine. He because it goes into how he did the action figures and everything like that. But anyway, so I started watching more videos by Matt with 4 T's. There's an Adam Warlock video, an exclusive video about Adam Warlock. It's
Yeah,
great.
is it great?
It's great. Yeah, it's great. I'm a huge Warlock fan. It's good. Except for he calls Magus Magus in it, and I did comment on the bottom that we know for a fact it's Magus.
We know we don't.
We do.
No, because we can't remember.
I remember.
You
I remember from last time. It's Magus. And so that's.
Or is it Magus? Or is it?
I believe
it Magus?
It's Magus.
Or is it Magus?
No, it's Magus.
Or Magus.
We're talking about Adam Warlock's evil purple self with an afro for some
My
bizarre
whole life,
reason.
I said Magus.
The more pressing question is, why does he have an afro? What happens to him in the future that his hair turns into an afro?
Well, the amazing part is that it goes from afro to ponytail.
It does?
Yeah.
After that?
In like Infinity War,
Yeah.
Infinity Crusade.
Yeah.
When he comes back, when
Magus comes back?
yeah, when he comes back, because he was gone for a while.
Yeah.
From the Adam Warlock, he was in all the Adam Warlock comics with his afro.
Right. Yeah.
And then he wasn't in Infinity Gauntlet, but then he comes back for Infinity War.
Okay.
And they bring him back, and he hadn't been seen
And he
in
has
like a
he has
decade.
a ponytail.
And he has a ponytail. Like he has whatever the cool haircut of the day is.
We got to ask Jim Starlin about that next time. So yeah, and then I saw that there was one on Bone. A Matt with 4 T's on Bone. And it was great. And at that point, I remembered where I met Matt with 4 T's. It was at the Scholastic Party. Because he does a Zoom interview with Jeff Smith on the YouTube
Wait
video.
a second. Is that Bone video? What do you remember what it was called?
Like
Was it called like something
best-selling
like
comic?
Was it like this comic changed all of comics or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Because I think I watched that video.
Yeah, that's Matt with 4 T's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I realized I met him at the Scholastic Party when I was with Valerie.
Okay.
And we met him together. I just remember the conversation immediately upon the Bone video because that's probably why he was at the Scholastic Party. He had done a Zoom interview, and David Saylor, the head of graphics,
yeah,
he's on the Bone video on Matt with 4 T's.
Right.
So we just gave a plug to Matt with 4 T's YouTube channel.
Now, is the channel actually called Matt with 4 T's, or is that just your way of
Matt with 4 T's is the
Okay.
name. He's great. I mean, he does a great job.
We got a couple of messages here from
let's hear
our
it.
pal Jim.
Yeah.
First, he says Jane suggests that I could try crocheting during the theme song.
We didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
And then
That's funny.
I guess in regards to Magus, his hair, he says it was the 70s. Even my dad showed up one day with a perm. Crazy days.
Oh yeah, you could do
My
that
dad
with
had
a
a perm.
You could do that with a perm.
My dad had a perm.
Yeah.
You know, but I honestly think he was going more for an afro. I think he kind of wanted him to be. This is, I mean, I don't want to lay any ideas
Right.
and attribute them to Jim Starlin.
Yeah.
But I could see it being the day, just like thinking like, you know, that like Adam Warlock's like the white guy and Magus is like the black guy, and give him black guy features.
I was thinking more that an afro is kind of easy to draw. It's easier than hair. It's just poof, boom.
But that's the way you think. That's not the way Jim Starlin.
He wasn't. I mean, he's a great artist, but he also struggled with certain aspects to his
like
art.
drawing Thanos in public.
That's right. He said he wouldn't draw Thanos in public, right?
Yeah,
Did he draw that crappy Thanos?
Yeah. So in my sketchbook.
Yes.
I have.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna take.
We're never gonna get to anything on this clipboard.
We're gonna. You didn't prepare, and you.
Oh no! I have a whole show.
You spent all week talking about how like you didn't prepare anything.
I'm a last minute guy. I have a whole show here.
But I'll have to take a photo of this so we can show it. I have what is probably Jim Starlin's worst drawing.
Yes.
And I love it, and I'm so glad he did. I saw him at a convention. I asked him if he would do a sketch. He says, "I do all my convention art in advance. I don't draw in public." And I kind of was like, "Come on," and he's like, "I can draw you a quick Thanos if you want." And I go, "That'd be awesome." And he picks up a Sharpie, and I wish I knew we were talking about this so I could show you what he gave me.
Well, we will do it.
Yeah, it's just like a face that is like two triangles, a line for a nose, a cross section, and then some down lines for his chin.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You know what we'll do?
It's one of my
we'll
prized
get
drawings.
Drunken Mitch's worst ever drawing of the Sandman, from Greg Hildebrandt, and we'll show that one too, because one time we had Greg Hildebrandt.
These are protest drawings.
Yeah, protest drawings. We had Greg here.
Yeah.
And my friend Mitch was hanging out, and he wanted a picture of the Sandman, and Greg was like defiant about like, I don't know who the Sandman is.
Why do you want me to draw this guy? I have nothing to do with him.
Nothing to do with him, and he just scribbled the worst. It's the funniest picture of all time now, but at the time Mitch was so hurt over this because he had all these great drawings of the Sandman.
Mitch was really ahead of his time because themed sketchbooks became a thing.
Yeah, yes.
But not like they weren't so ubiquitous.
Yeah, yeah.
At this time, and he had a sketchbook that was all drawings of Sandman. Nowadays, you go up to someone like Greg Hildebrandt and say, "This is only Sandman."
Yeah.
He's not gonna argue it because this is his 18th themed.
Yeah, possibly.
Sketchbook.
Well, Greg still might not do it.
Right.
But, Greg still might not do it.
Well, now.
Well, come on. But even back in the day, he was he was defiant kind of over stuff like that. I had him as a teacher, so I kind of know a little insight to Greg.
Listen, I won't get into it, but one of our avid viewers who may be watching right now,
yes,
has his own Greg Hildebrandt story, but I'll let him tell it.
Okay. So we never talked about a couple things.
You know who I'm talking about if you're watching.
So yes, you guys picked. Jim at least picked up on Ziggy reading the Crisis on Infinite Earth's comic while I sang. It was our compromise because I don't like to zoom in on me. Ziggy doesn't like the awkwardness of him sitting there while I sing, so he has read a comic book.
I like this.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the crocheting idea is great. I think we could do all different things.
You know what I like about the crocheting idea?
It's creative. It gives me ideas to do other things that you can do while I'm.
What I like about it is that when I first read it, I was like, Ziggy could try crotcheting. Yeah. What is that?
I know. I know. It's one of those words. It's spelled so stupidly.
Next week I'm going to be crotcheting.
Well, listen, I did talk to Sideshow Steve recently. He's a musician on New Orleans.
Yeah.
On Bourbon Street. He was actually off the night of the attack on Bourbon Street, and that's unusual because it's a big party night. But because it was in the middle of the week, he usually plays on the weekend, so he wasn't there for that, thank God. But it was just a couple streets down from his bar. But he said we need to do something about the song. And he has volunteered to help us possibly. He's like, you should record the song. I was like, well, we are going to record the song. He's like, well, when are you going to record the song? I was like, well, there's no plans to record the song. Because
he does not care for your live rendition.
No, and I don't either, to be quite honest with you. It's out of tune. It's uncomfortable for people to watch. Especially starting off the show. I mean, everyone must shut it before the end of that song.
That's the only thing I like.
I told him, I said, I don't care like how it sounds, honestly. Yeah. I don't care like if it's out of tune or it's weird.
I mean, that's the only stuff. That's the only thing I like about this song, is how like you're just like sing. There's no music.
I don't even. I don't put a lot of thought into it. I just jump right into it and start it, and I'm out of tune. I never like start at the right note. I don't care. But we should record it, and he has volunteered to help us somehow because the gentleman next door, guy Dean.
Yeah.
I thought that he did this type of thing like quite easily, but apparently he's like, I know a guy, and so I was like, well, don't worry.
So they don't have the recording equipment in the studio anymore.
So I don't.
What do they do over there?
He does music lessons.
It's lessons and a practice studio, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, he does other things, over there. He's a fun guy. We got to do something with him, and he's friends with Sean from Fat Moose. They play together. So anyway, this is the first Sunday of 2025.
It's funny. Sean had like this story he was telling me one time about how he's friends with Sean, and he wanted to put up a Fat Moose sticker on his window.
Yeah.
And Sean was like, you can't do that right next door to Funny Books.
And meanwhile, we have a Fat Moose sticker right on our wall
I feel like we took the sticker that was supposed to go on his window and put it inside our store.
It's on our wall. Yeah. I wanted it on our wall.
That's funny.
Sean's a character. So this is the first Sunday of 2025.
This is the first Zunday of 2025.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year.
That's a reference to a movie that Steve may not have seen because he was too busy.
Merry
watching
New
Poseidon-
Year.
Too busy watching Poseidon. Adventure.
Well, actually, I did watch Poseidon Adventure this week because it was New Year's.
Is
and
it
that's
New
my
Year-
New Year's movie.
that's
Yeah,
your New Year's?
happens on New Year's.
Yes. Merry New Year. It's from Trading Places. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd.
I've seen that, I think. maybe once, like on
Maybe
TV
once.
while I was, vacuuming the house.
I
or
see it like
something.
3 times a year.
Yeah, I've seen that. I get it. Merry New Year. Who says that? Eddie.
Eddie Murphy does,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, it is a Happy New Year.
Year.
And we did 2 weeks there. We did New Comic Thursdays,
Mhm.
which was really just. I couldn't wait to get back to Wednesdays. I couldn't wait.
The entire comic shipping thing has been off the wall this entire holiday season.
Yeah, and it's just weird. You're always a day late on the tasks, right? And of course, no Kevin, right? He returns next week. Actually.
This is all Kevin's fault.
So anyway, it was we missed last Sunday because you were at the Jet game.
My final Jet game as a season ticket holder.
Yes, and then this Sunday itself was actually questionable because we are having major computer problems.
This
here at
Sunday,
Starbucks.
this current Sunday that you are watching, could end at any moment.
Oh, okay. So we have the phone,
and it should be noted. That if, by any chance, this Sunday cuts out, also don't bother coming to get your comic books because we won't be able to open.
Right.
That will mean the computer has just
Is that
blown
what it will
up.
mean, or will it just mean the stream?
Well, the stream will end if the computer blows up.
Oh, is that the problem right now? Is that the computer might blow up?
Yeah, that's why the stream is questionable.
Oh, well, geez, why didn't you tell me that?
We're putting, streaming is a very taxing thing for a computer.
I don't know that.
Yeah, and as you well know, that computer's hanging by a thread.
Yeah, our main computer, which runs our entire store, you can't order a comic or sell a comic without this computer. It's an all-in-one, and the monitor currently is not working.
And every once in a while, you were saying it starts making a noise.
Yeah, it froze the other day, and I had to restart it, and that's questionable right there. And then the laptop, we are now parseced into our main computer to run the store.
That means we're remoting in.
Yeah, we're remoting in.
As if we were not even in the building when you use the internet to remote from one computer to another. We're doing that from inside the building.
Yes, this is the laptop I took to Florida, so it was capable of logging into the main computer. So we're running the entire store through this laptop, which itself has been bugging out a lot. Right? I mean, it's been shutting down like 3 times a day randomly in the middle of nowhere.
It's been doing good.
Yeah.
Since it's had to pick up the slack.
So that's how I watched the Poseidon Adventure, by the way.
Hold on.
Oh yeah. That's how I wound up watching the Poseidon Adventure because of the current setup, we can no longer stream on the television.
Right.
Because we were using the laptop.
So we have to watch DVDs.
So I brought in my DVD player from across the
Yeah.
street because the one that was here didn't work. And so I brought in a bunch of DVDs and I watched Poseidon Adventure.
Nice.
Which was great because I hadn't had a chance to watch it on New Year's. And then I watched Apocalypse Now, which was awesome. And then I was watching...
A very friendly comic book movie.
Well, I mean, I was closed.
Okay.
I was doing this like Monday and Tuesday when I was processing. And then I watched, yesterday when we were open, I was watching Galaxy Quest. And I
saw that was there. I'm probably going to have that on
I
today.
watched The Matrix. So it's been fun.
Is it The Matrix or The Matrix?
Well, listen, I watched The Matrix and then I tried to watch Reloaded and it wasn't happening.
Reloaded's terrible.
Yeah, that's the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
They're both, 2 and 3 are both terrible.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I will tell you what is good. We're so off the sheet here.
I only think things that are terrible
are terrible. I'll tell you what was good as far as a follow-up. I just watched the new Squid Game, and you know what a big Squid Game fan I am.
Yeah.
And it was masterfully done. I got to say, I'm very happy with the new Squid Game.
I'll tell you this. I've had a number of movies that I've been putting off because I've been waiting to have a more comfortable couch to watch them on.
Yes.
In front of my big TV. And we got a new couch, and so Godzilla -1.
Nice. You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you still haven't seen it?
I never saw it.
Okay.
I never got the opportunity to go to the theaters, and then when it came out on video, I was like, I want to watch it on my big TV, but I can't on this. The couches that I had were not good.
Yes.
For this, so I was like, I need to be able to comfortably sit in front of the big television to watch Godzilla -1. You know, Godzilla -1. I haven't rewatched Deadpool and Wolverine since the theaters.
Right. Awesome.
I haven't watched the Beetlejuice sequel, which I want to see.
Not interested.
Well, you don't have to be. You probably never seen the first one.
Probably not.
You were too busy watching Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm not a big.
And there was something else, I think. I forget what, but there's all these movies that keep like showing up on streaming or on whatever, and I'm just like, and I've just been putting them off and putting them off and putting them off.
I've done some things lately. Of course, we are going to be advertising less screen time, more read time pretty soon. So
yes.
I'm gonna have to put that screen down. But yeah, so what do we have here?
What's on the show?
Well,
sheet? Now that we're halfway through the show.
Oh, someone's at the door. Hold on a second.
Subtle.
Who could this be at the door?
Oh, the door is opening. Is Steve asking, can he help you with anything? Oh, the new guest is coming in.
Oh, it's New Year's Steve.
Oh, hello, New Year's Steve.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you?
Very horribly done, the whole thing. We should have planned it a little more.
Well, you know, we're not really supposed to be here yet. So, but I kind of preempted because I wanted to wear my jacket. This is, we are having a New Year's Steve sale.
New Year's Steve sale. It's one of my favorite sales.
But first, we have to talk about the Winter Classic. Because that sale, today is the final day of the Winter Classic.
What wasn't the Winter Classic originally just a one-day thing?
It was on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And then we started the Winter Classic sale, which I love the Winter Classic sale. It's just got a cool vibe to it. We started it on when the hockey had their strike, and they have a game called the Winter Classic on New Year's Day, so they weren't having the Winter Classic, so we had the Winter Classic. New Year's Eve is way old, predates the Winter Classic.
Right.
So we ran that sale on New Year's Day for a decade when I realized that my customers aren't necessarily the types to go out and get hammered on New Year's Eve and spend all New Year's Day recovering. Yeah. It's more like kind of a normal day, and there's nothing to do on New Year's Day. School's out, great day to open, have a big sale, right?
You know what I do on New Year's Day?
Probably sleep in.
No.
What?
No guesses?
New Year's Day. Do you see a movie?
No.
Guessing games aren't great for a show. It's like just spit it out.
I think it's great. Twilight Zone marathon.
Oh, okay, all right.
Twilight Zone marathon every year.
I mean, okay, that's okay for you.
You're not a Twilight Zone.
Well,
guy?
Guess what I do on New Year's Day, Ziggy. So anyway, last year
you opened the store to do the Winter Classic.
Well, last year because New Year's Day was on a Monday, and we're closed on Mondays. I decided, you know what, to raise awareness that we're going to even be open on a Monday, and to have our biggest sale on a day where we're normally closed, and you have to actually raise the awareness that you're going to be open because we're consistently closed on Mondays.
Right.
I said let's skip it and let's move it to the weekend so I can promote it fairly. And then, since I had New Year's Day off, I went down to do the polar bear plunge down the Jersey Shore for the first time ever. I went by myself. Had a great time. So this year was it was definitely a tougher decision. New Year's Day was on a Wednesday. Now, not that I would have had the Winter Classic on that Wednesday, but it was legitimately could have been a new comic day.
Right.
With everyone off of work, no school. It could have been a huge day for us, basically, business-wise. And it was really tough to make the decision to close and go down the shore and do the polar bear plunge again. But, I wanted to start. It was like, should I start the year off trying to make money, which we desperately need, or should
businesses work,
or should I do something for myself to kick off the new year cathartically for me, so that maybe the rest of the year goes better, and I make it up along the way by doing something fun on New Year's Day. Sort of that decision.
Can we put the word fun in quotes?
Well, listen. At last minute, I thought of a great solution.
Nothing.
See, that might not have worked.
I find fun about jumping into freezing cold water.
Well, I'll tell you why it was fun. After I could have also maybe had Ziggy open and do the new comic day because you were going to be off that Sunday and you could have done your 5 hours.
Yeah.
We could have opened at noon that day. I had hindsight. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't have made Ziggy open at 10, but maybe Ziggy would have opened at noon, take it to 5, and then I could do the rest of it. But it was too late. I was already on my way down there. I went down there with former Funny Force girl, Erin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, an original, an OG Funny Force girl. And do you have the picture of the plunge?
You bet I do.
So, yeah, New Year's Day, I headed down the shore.
Upon Steve's request, the laptop is moving to the middle for this segment.
Although I can't really see unless I put regular glasses on.
He likes to wear sunglasses inside.
They polarize the monitor or something like that? I don't know if that's the right term. Okay, so this I pulled off of NewJersey.com. That is the hotel. It's a hotel in Asbury Park. It's right by the Wonder Bar. But I think that this is this year's picture. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it's from this year because the guy on the left, the big guy, if you look on next to his left ear, I think you could kind of see Erin. You could barely see her. Like she's basically, you see her head and a little bit of her torso. She's got like a blue bikini top on, but you can't see me. But it may or may not be her. I showed her this picture, and she wasn't sure. So that's everyone running into the water, quite possibly from this year. And then here's Erin and I, and this looks like we're right by the beach. You can't really tell how many people are there.
Yeah.
But there's hundreds of people. And I'll tell you
hundreds of idiots, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So first of all, the drive down the shore on New Year's Day, there's no one on the road at like 9:30 in the morning, right? So it's a nice road. It was sunny for the second year in a row. We really lucked out. I mean, this past week with this polar vortex, if that had been that day, holy moly!
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been a lot more difficult. I think it was like in the 40s this day. So you get down there, and they had a registration early. They had sandwiches that you could buy, like breakfast sandwiches. Mm-hmm. Then you go into the ballroom. There's a bar. You get a couple cocktails. Had a couple Bloody Marys. Then we got we had our gear on under our clothes, and then we went out to the car, got some robes. Before you know it, everyone's going out to the beach. National anthem, boom, in the water, go under all the way, pop right back out, get the robe back on. And the best part is when you go back in afterwards, that party is raging. Everyone's in such a great mood. Because everyone just did that, and then the band goes back on. The band's fantastic.
I'd be in the corner just yelling, I hate this!
It was fun.
I'm cold!
And Erin and I had a great time that day, and it was good to see her. We don't get to hang out too often. And that's the polar bear plunge. So I did that on New Year's Day, and then we had the Winter Classic sale the weekend again. We did Saturday, Sunday. But because I felt like I didn't really promote it well enough, we're doing it again this weekend. 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Sunday. It's the final day of the Winter Classic. If you're watching this live, then you could come in today, buy one, get one free bagged and boarded comics, which I think is a great deal. It's a great deal.
Yep.
There's so many great bagged and boarded comics in here. If you buy two for $5, if you buy one for $5, the next $5 one's free. I'm
going around and just taking things out of their bags so they don't apply.
Well, I didn't cherry pick.
That's my secret.
I did not cherry pick. Everything is as it was when I started the sale. I didn't go around and say, "Ooh, I don't want to sell this at half price." And then we have $12.99 and up is 20% off everything in the store. There's certain restrictions: Action Figure Kingdom, story packs, they don't count, or binge bundles. I'm sorry. And then $24.99 and up is 25% off today, and that's the Winter Classic.
What was that last one?
$24.99 and up is 25% off.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're listening to this live, you can come in, and if you're into bagged and boarded comics, check out the artist boxes, the cool covers boxes, the fantastic finds boxes, the blanks, ratio incentives. I mean,
if I think we have a few shelf copies of this. If you missed your chance to do the pre-order discount on the Marvel versus DC.
Yes, yeah. We don't have the amalgam, but we have Marvel DC.
But the Marvel DC,
it's 25% off.
25% off.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All the compendiums and all these great books are 25%. Now, there's also, of course, the New Year's Steve sale, which I'm representing right now. That's an entirely different sale.
Right.
New Year's Steve.
Which, even though I am the spokesperson for Ladders,
yes,
New Year's Steve is probably more my favorite sale.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so New Year's Steve is named after the captain of the ship. This jacket, by the way...
In spite of its name.
I was walking across the street carrying this jacket, and one of my neighbors goes, "You should go to a casino wearing that." I hope he's not watching. I didn't say why. It was too much of a hurry, but I
You
kind of
want
went
to
to
know,
get to
like,
the
why?
bottom of
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So anyway, this jacket was my mom's jacket.
Does he think like that? You should put it like you look like Siegfried and Roy, and you
Well,
should,
I
you
do.
should do a magic show at a casino.
Oh, maybe that's what he meant. As a show, not to gamble. Yeah, I was a little confused. He must mean to do a magic show.
It's actually what you should do. You should go to a casino with a friend, right? And you can attract all the attention while
Yeah.
your friend cheats,
Or
and then you guys can split the money.
yeah, that's not bad. Or I can say I am a lion tamer and I'm just here to gamble. So yeah, this I have actually used.
Yeah,
this,
the lions are pretty tame today.
I have used this in my lion tamer outfit. This jacket.
Yes,
but
of course.
this was my mom's jacket from something, and then I wore this jacket for the first time at the first Funnyrama. I want to say, did I not?
And then you just never gave it back to your mom.
No, I didn't.
Hey, Mom, can I borrow this?
No, and actually,
For 40 years.
well, she knows, you know.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I haven't worn this in New Year's Eve in years because it wasn't fitting me. Last winter, I was about 173 pounds.
Yeah.
I just weighed myself yesterday, 154. So I'm almost 20 pounds lighter than last winter right now, going into the spring. So I have a good shot this year at being in
At
better
wearing
shape.
that to a casino.
Wearing this to a casino. So I'm glad that this fits me again. I haven't worn it in so long. This is my New Year's Eve jacket, also my Lion Tamer jacket. Now, New Year's Eve's a great sale. New
love
Year's
yours.
Eve is not just today. So if you're watching this on
I'm going to move this.
yeah. If you're watching this on demand another time, so you can still come in for the sale. It runs most of January, okay?
Yeah.
New Year's Eve gives you a 20% on Volume 1, any Volume 1 graphic
Any
novel
Volume
in the
1
store.
graphic novel.
And then with the caveat, I think I'm using the word correctly, of coming back anytime through the winter for the rest of the volumes in the series at 15% each.
Right.
So, like Something is Killing the Children, there's 8 volumes. You buy volume 1 during New Year's Eve, 20% off. The rest of the volumes will be 15% off as long as you get them in the winter.
Right. So this way, if you like it, you can read the volume 1, and if you like it, come back and get the rest discounted, rather than having to, like, throw caution to the wind and just buy them all at once because now they're discounted.
Right. The other parts of it is, well, of course, you earn 5% back in rewards.
Right.
So really, you have to up all your discounts here. Whatever
We
we
remember
say.
to turn those all back on, right? I'm
You,
pretty sure we did.
what do you mean on?
Remember we turned them off for that one sale?
We just tripled them.
Oh,
for-
we
turbo
we
time.
turbo timed.
doubled them.
We
Yeah.
doubled them.
So hopefully you turn that off.
Ugh.
In fact, this week you could tell because this week no one had rewards. Because last week everyone used their turbo time rewards, which brought all their totals down.
Right.
So it was really weird.
And also, well, I'm actually surprised because during turbo time, people we always, whenever we have a promotion, a sale, or anything, we don't try to hide the best way from you, right?
Right.
We always put our ladders in the order that's the most advantageous to the buyer.
Customer, yep. Mhm.
You know, and so during turbo time, I was telling people, don't use your
Don't
rewards.
use your reward. Yeah, I said the same thing.
Don't use your rewards now. Pay the money, get the double rewards.
Yeah.
And then use the rewards later when the money's only.
We
worth
should have
a
turbo
single
time
point.
every week so no one ever uses their rewards. Yeah.
They have hundreds and hundreds of dollars in rewards.
Don't
We're
use
like,
it.
Don't use them. Don't use them.
They're getting double this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was saying the same thing. Don't use your rewards.
Yeah.
You know, you're earning double rewards.
earning
Why
double
use them
rewards.
now? So 2 weeks ago, people had tons of rewards. It was,
Yeah.
you know.
That's what turbo time
One
is
customer had $190 of rewards.
for. Was it twin?
No.
Was it twin? And he had $191 worth of comics, and then so refused
Right.
to use
Well,
them.
he does have a lot of rewards. Oh, I thought there was a B or something.
Just a funny book sign falling on your head.
So we already have. By the way, another great part of New Year's Eve: get your name on the wall.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm building a wall over there of names.
In fact, I'm going to do something we never do.
What are you gonna do? You gonna turn the camera?
I'm gonna turn
Well,
it.
I don't know. Let yeah. Okay.
Do you see it?
That's
There it is.
that's the meager beginnings of our wall of resolutions, and I've already made a new form so I could fit 3 across there. We back on?
What is this? A crossword puzzle?
3 across.
What's next?
What's
4
Ziggy's
down?
favorite sale? New Year's Eve. So anyway, it's the sales so far that we've made. Listen to this list. We did A Killer Be Killed.
Yeah. Ooh.
Anna sold a Preacher Volume 1 the other day.
Perfect.
We did a Once in Future. Actually, the same person that bought Preacher bought Once in Future. We did a W0RLDTR backwards 3.
The name of the book is was zeroed to 33.
Yes.
And actually, have you looked at your New Year's Steve sign for the person who bought World Tree?
I know who bought World Tree.
Right, but have you looked at the sign?
Why? What'd I do?
Well, what comic? What does it say he bought? Forget the 0 and the 33. What does it say?
World Tree. I forgot the R.
World Tree. I just noticed that.
Well, I'm going to be rewriting it anyway.
It says Wold Tree.
It's confusing to write when you're using a 0 as an O and 3s as E's. So anyway, that's a James Tynion book, World Tree, and we have a lot of fun with that book. And then That Texas Blood, which is
that book's really good.
Yeah, it's drawn by Jordan Phillips, Sean Phillips. Jacob Phillips, right?
Yeah.
Sean Phillips, who does all the stuff with Ed Brubaker, his son.
Who also draws Newburn, which is written by Chip Zdarsky, and is also
Jacob
very
Phillips
good.
draws that?
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very
and
good.
Chris Condon writes that Texas Blood, and he's a pretty good writer himself. We also did a Batman White Knight, which is a volume 1. It doesn't have a 1 on it.
No,
this
but
is
it
the
is a volume
discussion.
1.
So this is what I want to get to.
Okay. What constitutes a New Year's Steve?
Yes. And by the way, we also saw the Invincible Compact Edition, which is a great volume 1 for New Year's Steve.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even qualify for the Winter Classic because it's cheap, so you have to get New Year's Steve on that. And then the Green Lantern by Jeff Johns. Now he had to decide between 25% off for the Winter Classic, or 20% off on Volume 1 and 15% off the next volume.
Right.
Because with the Winter Classic he wouldn't get he chose the 25% off, but I gave him 25% off and the New Year's Steve deal. I'm a softie, right? Yeah. So what constitutes a number 1? Like Reckless.
Reckless is a volume 1.
It's a volume 1. Doesn't have a 1 on it, but it's the first in a series.
Yes.
And even though it's not chronologically first in the Reckless books, it's not.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. Yeah, they go back and forth in time in that series. I'm not positive.
No, all those books. I think there's some flashing back, but all those, because in the first volume,
yeah,
he meets.
Yeah, but there's one volume about the L.A. highway going through the bad neighborhood.
Right, but like, I think it's done in flashback format.
Is it?
Like,
oh, maybe.
Like the book's still like, even if it's just like bookend scenes or whatever type of stuff. But what's her name? The assistant.
Anna.
Right. Like, she's in all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's the star of Ghost and You.
Right.
I mean,
But she's in, like, because like, he meets her in the first one, and then she's in all of them. Yeah. It's all after
We're
that.
talking about these Reckless hardcovers. By the way, I just got a new customer into Reckless.
Yeah.
And he's been reading, he's fairly new customer. I don't want to give him up. But I sold him the first Reckless. He loves it. He came in, he's already bought all of them.
So what's an example of that you think is a questionable
Batman the Long Halloween.
Batman the Long Halloween is... See, well, here's the thing. Technically...
It's a volume 2.
It's a volume 2.
Well, I was thinking it does precede Dark Victory.
It precedes Dark Victory. Dark Victory is a sequel to it, but it's not...
Picked a good one, didn't I?
Yeah, that's a good one. I would not say Long Halloween is a New Year's
My
Eve.
point being is, if you can convince me it's a volume 1, for instance, how about Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees? Which I just read, and it's fantastic.
I don't know enough about it to...
Okay. They have announced they're doing another one.
But it's not out yet.
No.
And does it say volume 1 on it?
No.
Then no.
Wow, you're tough.
There's only one volume of it.
Right. But
the rest is just talk.
Well, they're working on a sequel.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't exist until it exists.
All right, that's interesting. So it depends really who's here.
I predict that there's a sequel to this.
And so I put some notes together on... looking at the time.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to skip the last... We'll skip the last segment, but we'll do the YOO HOO toast next. Here's some suggestions for New Year's Steve. Okay? I got suggestions. Sin City.
Oh, great.
Right?
New Year's Steve.
We have 2 volume 1s in stock. And by the way, by the end of the week, we'll have a lot of things in stock that we don't currently have, but because we've been taking a hit on some of these sales. Reckless, for sure. 100%. And we have a lot of volume 1 of that. You have to read Reckless. It's fantastic. Kill or Be Killed.
Excellent New Year's
right?
Eve. Yeah.
And Preacher.
Of course. That's like those four
Yeah.
are like
At top echelon.
everybody should read those 4 books.
Yeah, and I would put Watchmen up there, but it's not a volume 1.
It's not a volume 1.
Right? The new Watchmen animated, is that... Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Is that new?
It's new. They're just doing the book.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what it was, but I when someone came in here and said they saw the animated, I thought they meant the pirate story from the first movie that was animated.
Yeah, no, because there's they've done a motion comics
Right, yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
which is like they take Dave
Dave. I just can't get Dave Sims out of Mike Gibbons.
Gibbons
Yeah.
Artwork.
Yeah.
And they cut it up and do minor
Yeah,
animations
yeah,
to it.
yeah.
And
This
they call
is a
it
full-on
motion
animation now.
comic.
Yeah.
And then they did the movie, and then they did the animated thing along with the movie of the black,
Right.
whatever it's called, the pirate story. And then, but now they're doing an actual just animated, like 2 or 3 part animated
Yeah,
adaptation.
I'll check that out. I love Watchmen. So, like I said, Sandman, definitely for
Sandman's-
New Year's Eve, right?
yeah.
We have all the volumes. Something is Killing the Children, right? There's 8
Yeah.
volumes of that. That's a great New Year's Eve because there's so many volumes. Department of Truth, which is a tiny in book that I'm currently reading, which is super cool. Invincible, you could get the Compendium, Volume 1.
Yep.
20% off today, 15% off the next ones. There's 3 of them. You can get the well, we don't have the regular graphic novel anymore. We have the compact edition.
We have the compact edition.
That's the way I'd go. You could do the Walking Dead compendium,
Mm-hmm.
and then we don't have the other ones, but we'll order them as we go, right? Transformers,
Great. Volume
Right?
1, yeah.
it's great. Volume 1. There's 2
You
volumes.
can, you can, in fact, you can really do it up, and you can get the, you could get into the entire Energon universe with multiple volume 1s.
Well, where's there another Volume 1?
Void Rivals is a volume 1.
Oh, right, yeah.
Transformers is a
We have to
volume
order
1.
that. We don't have any Void
Here's
Rivals.
here's a question. So the 4 GI Joe books
No,
that they did,
they're not Volume 1s.
they say volume 1 on them.
They all say Volume 1. They do?
Yeah. It says Duke volume 1, but there is no plan for a volume. It all continues in
I
the
have a solution for
GI
that.
Joe book.
I have a solution for that.
There is no. I think in the past we've said if there is no volume 2,
No, my solution is don't put Volume 1 on that.
I wouldn't either. But
Yeah.
it's there. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's going to be something someone can present their case.
Yeah.
It says a 1 on it. I never said that in the signing. I said, all Volume 1s. It's up
Yeah.
to semantics, really, if what's a Volume 1. Radiant Black.
It's good.
We don't have Volume 1s right now, but we're getting them. Geiger. Now, there's no 2. Is that a 1? It says a 1.
There, it's volume 1 and
2's been solicited.
2's been solicited.
So does that count?
I would say that counts.
Oh, man, this is a pro-life discussion here. It hasn't arrived yet. It's only been solicited.
No, but it's not
being printed.
It's not just talk. It's
being
not just
printed.
talk.
And the other Image books. I was looking through the Image shelf. Image is a great place.
There's something that you don't have on this list that should be, and I don't believe we have it, but we should have. We should make sure that we get multiple copies of it, and it should be in the must-have
Daredevil by
list.
Frank Miller?
Yeah.
Because they don't have the other volumes in print. Oh, Nice House by the Lake, I wanted to add, right? Another tiny in
You're
book.
missing a big one,
I'm missing a big
though.
one.
It's actually a small one, but it's a big one.
Winter Soldier?
No,
No, because that's
That's
collected in Epic Collection nowadays. What's a volume 1 that I'm missing? I don't know. I give up.
a little something called "Out from Boneville."
Oh, well,
Bone Volume 1.
right, but we have the 1 bone.
But we can get the color editions.
Yeah.
The one volume bone is black and white.
Yeah.
If people want the color editions, that comes in the.
Oh,
9
I
volumes.
definitely would get those. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, we should stock up on
It's
that.
been a long time. We have to get some bone.
We did. It's only the best comic ever made.
Yeah. Yeah. You have
You know,
8 versions of it.
I will soon. I just bought my 7th.
I love the.
I just bought my 7th
I love
version.
the journey that Jeff Smith took. You'll see it in the. You saw the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Your best friend Jeff Smith.
My best friend Jeff Smith. I met him and we hung out at the Scholastic
Yeah.
party. Me, him, and Scott McCloud and Renee Teglema.
Yeah, I forget what it is, but I know who you're talking about.
Telegemeyer. I'm so sorry, Renee. I can't remember her. Teglemeyer. So also Nightwing. I thought Nightwing would be a good volume 1.
Which Nightwing?
Leaping into the Light.
Leaping into the Light. The Tom Taylor Nightwing would be an excellent volume 1.
Yeah. And then
And there's a lot of volumes of that now, and
There are.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they're all still available.
and like you said, you get your name up on the wall. That's kind of cool. And we look at the image shelves in particular. There's a lot of volume 1s there. All right.
And I would even include the fake volume 2 as one of the volumes, even though it doesn't have a volume number.
Of what? What were we talking about?
Of Nightwing.
Nightwing.
There's a volume in
Called
between
Fear State.
Fear State between volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah, yeah.
I would include that as a future volume.
How about this for volume 1? The first Dogman.
The problem is I have no idea which one is volume 1.
It just says Dogman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just Dogman, right? So even this we would count as a volume 1.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a volume.
And we have all the volumes of Dogman.
They all have other names?
Getting ready for the big movie. Yeah.
Crime and Punishment.
All the Dogman names are based on novels.
I saw they're doing
Famous novels.
They're doing a Dogman movie. I saw a commercial on TV for it, and in the commercial, they had that crazy origin.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's insane. All right, do we have we didn't do Yoo-Hoo toast?
Yoo-Hoo toast.
And let's do the ones where the straws.
We've missed we have some the Labris says hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, it's Catherine. She
Oh,
says, I don't
really?
know if you can see this, but it's Catherine.
Oh, nice.
Ah!
Whoa, which way? Sideways segment. Sideways segment. These straws have become disattached. Let's do these first.
All right. Should we do a side? Should we cheers sideways segment?
I don't know. I mean,
Because it takes away because you had something planned.
I have a toast planned. Yeah.
One of these days we have to toast the sideways segment.
Well, it did arrive. Okay, we could toast. Oh, toast the sideways segment.
Yeah. Give a toast to the sideways.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
It is a major part of the show.
It is. It is. 10 ADP.
ADP.
Yeah, actually, we're going to be switching to that payroll service. Actually, we're done with our previous service. Yes, there's how the sausage is made. We're switching payroll services. Everybody. Kevin should be back soon. By the way, he's the guy on the payroll. He's coming back next Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, so Kevin's got a week left in London, and he'll be back. We'll get to see Kevin the Kid. By the way, I did look up the comic that he got in England. He said he got the first appearance of a character, and I couldn't think of it last week.
Yeah.
Well, of course I did my research between Sundays, and now I know that it was the first appearance of Psycho Pirate.
Oh, Psycho Pirate.
Yeah, and it was...
Speaking
it was
of
from
Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Exactly. Oh, man. It was from Showcase number 56.
Wow.
First appearance of Psycho Pirate. Yeah, I remember when I first was reading Crisis on Infinite Earths, he was like... Psycho Pirate was like the main character in Crisis on Infinite Earths in the very beginning. He was like the main guy, and I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
You know? It was kind of him and Harbinger and that girl with the green outfit. Right? Oh, no, Pariah.
Who's not a girl.
Yeah, it's a dude. Long hair.
Not long hair. Normal hair.
Did he have normal hair?
Yeah.
And wasn't there a Harbinger?
Harbinger, Psycho Pirate, and Pariah.
Pariah were kind of the three characters that
and
kicked
Monitor,
off.
of course.
And Monitor, yeah.
Monitor and Anti-Monitor.
Okay, so we are shaking.
Every villain should be called whatever
they are.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Marvel's getting to that. They did Anti-Venom.
They did Anti-Venom.
Yeah.
But Anti-Venom's a thing, you know?
And Uncle Venom. Don't forget Uncle Venom. That was a Gene Cahill joke, remember?
Yeah.
He did a joke. Oh, Ant-Man and Uncle Man. that's what he did.
Good.
Ant-Man and Uncle Man. Yeah, we should do a toast to Gene one day.
One day.
Yeah. Okay, so you have a picture for this toast because
I
this
do?
toast, if you notice, there is one character of Zunday not with us today.
Oh.
She is resting at home, and there she is, Dottie. Dottie, I gave her a break today because Dottie had her surgery for being spayed on Tuesday, and there she is in her post-surgery onesie.
Catherine is toasting from her water bottle.
Oh, cool. So this is to Dottie on her
Dottie.
surgery, her recovery, and just being part of Zunday and just being the love of my life right now.
That's right.
She is awesome, and she is great to go home to. When I took her to the vet, and then I came back home,
it's a good Yoo-Hoo.
and Dottie wasn't there.
Yeah.
It sucked. You know, it was bad. So
that's a nice onesie she's wearing.
yeah, in fact, could get a cone or a onesie, and I decided onesie. And I got two onesies, and I brought them to the vet, and I said, when she's done with her surgery, you can choose which one and surprise me with the onesie. surgery, they said, went well. I do have a follow-up checkup on Tuesday with her. So I bring her home in this onesie. She gets up, takes 2 steps, and falls over like one of those goats with her feet up in the air, And all she could do was take a couple steps in this thing, and I felt really bad for her because she had just had surgery, but it's to protect her.
Yeah.
So anyway, the next morning was New Comic Day, Wednesday, and I had to come to work. So right before I was coming down, and it was hairy, no Kevin,
Yeah.
it's hairy.
The computer.
Yeah, the computer's not working. It's 0 degrees out, Dottie just had her surgery. Luckily, I did have Anna back a little bit this week, and she's a lifesaver. She did such a great job for me this week. Anyway, so I'm about to leave, and Dottie comes out from my bedroom, no onesie. I'm like, Dottie, and so I go look, I can't find this thing anywhere. I'm like, I don't know what you did with this. It's not that big of an apartment. So I had a second onesie.
Yeah.
So I go to put the second onesie on her. Now, it's New Comic Day. I got to get to work. I had the hardest time getting this on her. I've never done this before. I've never had a child. I've never put anything into clothing in my life. So I don't know what I'm doing, apparently. Mm-hmm. And she was fighting me,
Right.
And I almost gave up, but then I got it on.
She's a cat. Even if you did know what you were doing, she'd still be fighting.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the problem was the Velcro on the back. It kept getting stuck halfway through the process of getting it on her, and then I would have to use 2 hands to get the Velcro part, but I'm trying to hold her down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This Velcro is an enormous problem. I would get her 2 paws through it, and then the Velcro would
This
be...
is like when I'm trying to clip Bro's nails. You need like...
an extra hand.
You need one hand to hold, because when you clip a cat's nails, you have to like push the nail out.
Yes, you do, yeah.
And then with one hand, and clip the other, and then clip it with the other hand.
Yeah.
But you also need a complete other set of hands to hold the cat.
That's a good Shark Tank idea. Extra set of hands.
Extra set of hands. I think that's like 4 Rob Liefeld characters.
That could work. Yeah, he definitely has that character. So anyway,
do you remember the Silvestri character? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Spiral?
Whatever, where he had 4 arms, but it wasn't 2 and 2. He had 1 arm on one side and 3 arms on the other.
I don't remember that. I could never have a character like that. I'm way into symmetry.
Yeah, 3 arms on one side.
No way.
I think he was in Cyberforce.
God, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep if that was my character. I would create a character to chop that one guy's arm off and put it on the other side to balance him out. The balancer, So anyway, so then I came to work, and then I was here like 10, and Anna did come in, which was good because I wanted to go check on Dottie. So I went back home. No onesie. Again, no onesie. I can't find this onesie. So now there's 2 onesies gone, missing. So I'm like, they could only be in one place, under my bed somewhere, right? And I have under my bed, all my artwork is under my bed. The boxes of the statues I have are under my bed. Typical under the bed. So next slide. I did find her onesies. There they are. This is me lifting up. Not only I had to take the mattress off my bed, and then this is the box spring. Yeah. I lifted the box spring.
Look how it's going up through.
Yeah. So
the wooden.
Listen, this is genius because I can understand getting one off accidentally under the bed.
Yeah.
But clearly she went back under there.
She found a system.
Yeah.
And remembered the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really wild.
At the time, we have 3 minutes, really 2 minutes, because we need a minute to get the store open.
Well, so I just wanted to toast Dottie, and this is the first ZUNDAY Dottie has missed since her debut on season 1, episode 2 of ZUNDAY.
Yes.
But that's why we're doing the toast to her, because she couldn't be here. Okay, well, listen, we could save...
I forget, what was the other picture?
It's, William Shatner was here yesterday.
Oh.
There's me and William Shatner. He popped by Funny Books yesterday. And,
Steve is convinced that this man is William Shatner.
Well, listen, I'm not the first guy to accuse this guy of looking like William Shatner. He came in, he was great too. He's so funny. With another his son, who the last time his son was here, he was 5, and his son is a grown man now. So and they were in the old building. He's like, didn't you used to have a long thing of back issues? I was like, oh my God, you haven't been here since probably like the early 90s, because we moved into this building in 96.
96?
Yeah, so they were here.
I thought it was 95. 96?
I think it was 96. So, and I was watching Galaxy Quest at the time, which is a Star Trek related thing,
Yeah.
when he came in. And I go, man, you look just like William Shatner. He's like, oh, I get that a lot. And I was like, yeah, I swear, if you were at a comic book, and he told me a couple stories, and all of a sudden I was like, are you William Shatner? Because if I was William Shatner and someone said I look like William Shatner, I would deny it too. I told you that one time I met Eric Larson, I thought, and he was denying that he was Eric Larson. I was like, hey, Eric Larson. He's like, I'm not Eric Larson. I was like, I know you're Eric Larson. He's like, I'm not Eric Larson. I was like, why are you denying that you're Eric Larson? It was in the hotel in San Diego. I was with Amanda.
It's funny. Tony Hawk has these stories where he has this constant thing where people constantly tell him he looks like Tony Hawk, but they don't think they're just talking to Tony Hawk.
Oh, really? That's great. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
They accuse him of looking like Tony Hawk. They're never just like, hey, aren't you Tony Hawk?
Right.
They're always, do you know who you look like?
You look like Tony Hawk. Yeah. There's probably a lot of Tony Hawk looking dudes, but this guy, halfway through our conversation, I stopped him talking. I go, are you William Shatner? Because I don't want to be made a fool of. I don't want you leaving here and then me showing people this picture and this Steve. That is William Shatner. You let him walk out of here. You didn't kidnap him and tie him up like in that movie again, Misery. Did we talk about that?
No.
Okay, Misery, yeah. Anyway, he was very funny.
It is noon o'clock.
He was very funny, and he rolled with my insane accusations of him being William Shatner. So next week we'll have to get to Free Comic Book Day, because I did want to talk about it a little bit. So we'll save it for next week.
That sounds good.
'Cause we need content anyway.
We had it was good. This is pretty good for live views.
Is it?
Yeah, because we get most of our views after the
fact. Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Thank you everyone for watching then our insane nonsense. Oh, yeah, and that's what Sideshow Steve said. He goes, I need to talk to the people more.
I tell you, you listen to Sideshow Steve.
I didn't listen to him yet.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
You're constant. I always think that if while you're talking to me, I'm not looking. If I look this way while you're talking to me, I always feel like you'd eventually notice that I'm not looking at you when you look at me, and then you'd start looking where I'm looking.
And
then I can just see you in the corner of my eye.
I can improve greatly, and that's basically going to be on my tombstone.
Sideshow. the reason why we had to move the laptop from here to we're still looking at the reason why we moved the laptop from being in the middle to over here was to stop Steve from staring at at himself in the monitor rather than the camera. But then when I took it away, instead of looking at the camera, you look at me.
You're interesting to look at with your Gilligan hat.
I'm going to take a picture of me and put it
listen, I definitely need something dangling over there. Yeah. I always forget to look at you guys. I'm so sorry. Thank you for watching. Thank you for turning your Sunday into Zunday.
Gabingi.